Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And these are one of the most popular mid-range, high-end electric scooters. So if you're coming from a Xiaomi M365 or a 9bot Max, probably these ones are the most likely to upgrade. Or if you're new to the game, these are probably the scooters you're looking at. Let me tell you more about it.
Wrong way.
Huge thanks to all of you guys that showed up here to the video, to Jarek, to Martin, to Jacek behind the camera, and to Wojtek, because these are all scooters that they own and they have ridden for many kilometers. 4,500, almost 2,000. So these are very much scooters that are used by clients, and these are not provided by distributors except for the Techlife X7, and I wasn't paid to do this review by Techlife. I have these scooters here because they're very similar, but they have a different battery. This is a 23 amp hour and 18 amp hour. So in this video we'll test the performance, we'll test features, or show the features, show the ergonomics of each of those scooters, and also conclude like which one is the best for you. Go! Ho, ho, ho! All right, so time for the first drag race. Dual motor 18 amp hour T10 DDM versus 23 amp hour with LG cell. So Techlife X7 versus Zero10x 23 amp hour, and 3, 2, 1, go! And yes, the bigger battery wins. Come on, that's a huge difference. So if you're thinking about getting the bigger battery or the smaller one, if you get the bigger battery, you'll also get bigger acceleration. Three, two, one, go! Ho, ho, ho! And indeed, the Skywalker is faster than the Speedway 5. Topping out 62, 62.3. Okay, and this is the max. 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, Skywalker 10S Plus is just faster. the Dualtron EX2 Plus versus the Zero10x 23 amp hour. So 3, 2, 1, go! Head to head, and yes, the Dualtron EX2 pulls ahead on. I'm not going 6, by the way. I think it's something around 60. So not a huge difference, and I saw that at the top speed he was getting closer, but still a bit more torque, a bit more acceleration on the EX2 Plus. And yeah, still I will be pulling ahead. Yep. It's so similar. Top speed is identical. Alright, so now the winner of this race, the EX2 versus the Skywalker 10S Plus. 3, 2, 1, go! Whoa! And yeah, pulling ahead. In Poland we say noticeably faster. 61, 62, 63. So indeed, the Cabo Skywalker 10S Plus is the fastest of the bunch here. Look how precise the eye controller is. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. And yep, bye-bye. Not faster by a big margin, but still a lot faster.
Zauważalnie szybko.
Yes! Ha! Woo! Wolf Warrior 11 Plus can't get up here, and this can. What the hell, Cabo? I lost the balance. Yeah! Barely, but he did it. No, this is too much. No. Same story, but maybe a bit less. Oh man!
Now we move on to the suspension of
all of these scooters. We made 2 rounds every time, going 30 kilometers an hour and 10 kilometers an hour. Going 30 was much better for these scooters, but if you were going 10, you could really see how the suspension works. And here on the lower video is the Techlife X7, and you can see that it absorbs the bumps fairly well, but the wheels also do tend to bounce around a bit. This is not happening on the Dualtron. It stays planted to the road a bit more, so it's the more sporty ride, but still the Techlife X7 could be the more comfortable ride and definitely has the most suspension travel. Now it was the turn of the Speedway 5 and the Skywalker 10s Plus, and definitely these scooters are not as comfortable as the scooters before. Definitely at 10 kilometers an hour you can see the whole construction of the scooter shaking around. Yeah, it's really less comfortable, especially the Skywalker 10s Plus. Takes those bumps really hard, I think. If you compare it to the Dualtron and to the Techlife X7, you can see that those scooters do not bounce around. It's more the wheels or the suspension. But on the 10s Plus and the Speedway 5, you can see the whole body shaking. So yeah, that's the win for the X7 and the Dualtron. Here you can see how a pro air suspension would look like, but I have to cut off that clip because I want to leave something for the future Pimp My PV episode. Now taking a closer look at these scooters, first up is the Techlife X7. You can see that the handlebars are really wide, at around 67 centimeters. The QSS4 programmable display, mechanical brakes, everything is here, voltage meter, single dual motor buttons, and Eco and Turbo. You can also see the clamp better now. You can buy a additional clamp which will hold the scooter better, but all in all this type of scooter will be more stiff than the ones that fold with the wheel. The rear kick tail or footrest is really awesome. It helps a lot, and the front steering column is a lot more further than on the other scooters, making it really comfortable also for taller persons. Now we can see the Dualtron EX2 Plus, and it's fairly similar to the the Spiders, the Limiteds, and Dualtron 3s, and so on. So there are minor changes in these scooters, but all in all they're pretty similar. That's why we have this Dualtron in this comparison as well. It is fairly stiff, but here again the clamp could be a bit higher to make it just more stable. Now we take a look at the Speedway 5, and it has the awesome mini motors display. This thing is great, should be on every scooter. The steering column also folds and the handlebars fold. It has turn signals which are barely visible, but we'll move on in a second to that. And it has better lighting definitely than the Techlife and the Dualtron. It also has the rear suspension working maybe a bit better than on the Skywalker 10s Plus, and all in all the build quality is also better than on the Skywalker. When it comes to quality, I think the best among these 4 scooters is the Dualtron, then the Techlife, then the Speedway, then the Cabo. And you can see here the Cabo looks a lot cheaper. It is cheaper, and riding on it does not feel like quality. And some of us riders, when trying out the Skywalker, didn't really like the ride feel, but it is the fastest among all of these scooters. So yeah, that's that. And it's also the cheapest. Usually it comes just with the single small light up in the front. These 2 lights are from the Wolf Warrior, so this is not stock about this scooter. And yeah, it does feel cheap, but it is cheap. It also has side lighting, which is really cool. It's not on the other scooters.
Just a bit more about the features. We won't look at that. You will have to subscribe and wait for the Pimp My PV episode on this very special Zero10x. When it comes to the features here on the Techlife X7 or Zero10x, Eco Turbo button, these are regular, like these Chinese buttons, nothing special. They're a bit better on the Skywalker 10s Plus. Single dual motor button, mechanical brakes with 140, I believe, millimeter discs. This is the QSS4 display. I don't like it that much as the mini motors. The mini motors is better. Even the one in the Dualtron is also better. I like it more than this one here. But all of these scooters have programmable displays, so you can adjust soft start, hard start, if the scooter starts with a kick or without. You can adjust the regenerative braking, how you can make the cruise control, and I believe here you can also set up a code to lock the scooter, but actually I think nobody uses because here's a key. The key is also a super nice feature, voltage meter. So this goes for from 58.8 volts up to down to, I believe, around 42, something around that, maybe even 41. Yeah, grips are pretty nice quality, but they tend to, you know, move around a bit after a while. And yeah, no folding handlebar. There are twin charge ports here, GX16-3. Standard chargers are, I believe, somewhere around 1.5 amps. Battery is 18 amp hours here once again, so full charge with 2 chargers around 5 hours. Comes stock with 1 charger, so 10-hour charge time. Here we can see this is one soft spot of these scooters. These springs tend to break, so first mod you want to do in a Techlife X7 or a Zero10x is to exchange these for a D&M damper like this one, but I won't show this one yet because it's not. We want to, you know, keep some curiosity going for the Zero10x. Pimp my PV. These tend to break front or rear. This is a flaw in these scooters. It wasn't changed in the newest revision. There are some new colors in the new revision, a bit different clamp here up in the front, but this didn't change. So you do need to watch out when you're going off curbs or on a curb. Just jump with it lightly, slightly, to avoid like harsh extension or harsh like hitting of the wheels here and the suspension. As usual, the rear mudguard is rubbish, so you have to add this one, and they tend to break like on the Zero10x. Brakes are, you know, decent, nothing special here. Mechanical discs. You should upgrade to hydraulic if possible. They also have lights here, really nicely integrated here. They're also really bright, and interestingly enough, there isn't a separate button for the lighting. You just have to hold on mode here, and this is how you turn on the rear lights, and they should be on now, and they're super bright, super visible. Front lighting is also a bit rubbish in the scooter. They don't help you at all in the night. They just indicate that a scooter is coming towards you. But apart from maybe the Wolf Warrior 11 Plus, maybe some other high-end scooters, the front lighting is usually quite bad in these scooters, so you do always want to invest in additional lighting, like for example here with a separate power bank. All of these scooters are, well, they're not waterproof. You shouldn't ride them in the rain, but they should be sort of fine if you do. It's the best to seal these scooters with some silicone, especially the upper deck, to make sure that if you go through rain, nothing happens. I think the motors are pretty well designed here to be water sealed. The Kugo G Booster or the Honghao S12, they tend to have water in the motors. I think that's not the case here. And yeah, so this is the Techlife X7. Let's move on to the Dualtron II. It's a scooter I don't have a lot of contact with. It's Martin's scooter. He bought it used, but runs fine. It's really fast. The folding mechanism is like on the Techlife X7, and it's a 60 volt scooter. This is a 52 volt scooter, so this is just a bit faster. Charge ports are on this side? Yeah, on this side. So here, interestingly enough, you have the GX16-3 ports, so the same as on the Techlife, and you can charge this thing with 6 amp, no problem. So pretty fast. It can be charged up in like 3 hours, something like that. And here is the external battery port. So if you want to have a bigger battery on your Dualtron II EX Plus or whatever, you can just add a battery, and this is the port for the external battery mount. I think there should be also a on-off switch somewhere. Oh yeah, here's the safety switch. That's pretty cool. So this one disconnects the battery altogether. Pretty cool feature. I think this should be on more scooters. All in all, I think like quality-wise, I think this is just a bit better than the Techlife X7 when it comes to the, you know, design, looks, and features. There's also like a Dualtron emblem here. I do like that. Brakes are pretty similar, 140 millimeters, mechanical brakes, nothing hydraulic. Handlebars a bit narrower than on the Techlife. They also do not fold. Pretty nice grips. This display is a bit better, in my opinion, than the Techlifes. Once again, this is I think a custom button, so this is for dual and single motor and nothing else. Actually, And light situation is pretty similar like on the Techlife X7, just rear lights. I believe there are also brake lights. Let me turn them on. Yeah, are they on? Yeah. And up in the front, it's the same story, just two small bulbs. Yeah, so definitely you do need an additional light here as well. So let's move on to the Speedway 5. It's a bit of a different construction than these two. Oh yeah, by the way, suspension here, elastomeric suspension, works really well actually on these scooters. Very stiff, very sporty, but yet also quite comfortable. So this is pretty nice. It's not as bouncy as the Techlife X7. Speedway 5 has a bit more features, a bit more here on the handlebar. So there's also a light button, and the light here is a bit better once again than on these two scooters, but still you see that there's quite a lot of additional lighting here, which is necessary in my opinion for these scooters. There's also a turn signal with an audible signal, and it's barely visible. I mean, you can't really see it. Let me turn it on. This is the audible signal. Yeah, like imagine seeing that. But pretty cool thing is the design when you brake. See, it's like, but not really that well visible as on the Dualtron and the Techlife. Suspension here is, I think this is oil spring, I believe, not sure. But it's really stiff compared to these two. A big deck, and the scooter folds here with the front wheel. So tends to have a bit more loose, but this was actually no. This is quite stiff. Quite stiff handlebars. Same as here. Maybe a bit stiffer on these two. Yeah. This folding mechanism just tends to be less loose than the folding mechanism with the front wheel. Here the brakes have been exchanged to semi-hydraulics, but usually stock is mechanical brakes. So there's also a single motor, dual motor button, a horn, a mini motors display, which is by far the best in these scooters. It's the same thing as on the Skywalker 10S Plus. Nice, really grippy handlebar grips. The handlebar also folds, so this should be a bit more portable than these scooters. And yeah, I believe these are all the features. Oh yeah, well, let's take a look at the charge port situation. Charge ports are here. Two GX16-3 ports, same as on the other scooters. And okay,
it's on.
Cool. Yeah, so here's, you would see it on the floor like a Speedway sign. Pretty cool. All of these scooters, like when you buy it from a local distributor, cost around the same. Maybe Dualtron 2 is a bit more expensive, but here you can see how they, you know, stack up against each other. So you can choose, and you should buy a electric unicycle. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.